Industry's Most Wanted podcast.
Industries most
Podcast.
wanted.
Boom. Listen, I got a superstar checking in. He goes by the name of Ruante. He is an R&B artist and does so much more out of Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for joining us. What's going on with you? How you doing?
And thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Man, it's a pleasure. You and I got a chance to chop it up before we started, and we definitely got some things in common in regards to this
Indeed.
music business.
Indeed.
You come out here to the A, from time to time and work. So, without further ado, go ahead and give us that official introduction.
All right. So my name is Ruante, R&B artist from Detroit. I'm like the neighborhood R&B guy. So this is I got a vibe for everybody. No matter what your mood, your feeling is, I got a song for you.
I love it. I absolutely love that. Like, anybody that knows me and knows, I'm obviously a lover of music, but R&B is like my first love. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
I'm an OG, so I like going back to like the 90s and early
Oh yeah.
2000 R&B. Like that's just the vibe. You know what I'm saying? Most definitely. But
Mhm.
before we get into like, talking about your music and stuff like that, you were born and raised in Detroit?
Yes, ma'am.
So talk to us about it. What was your childhood like growing up in the beautiful city of Detroit?
Growing up, it was cool. I had a good time. A lot of church. Grew up in a church. That's where I feel like I don't know if it's just a city thing or just a artist thing, period. But a lot of us start in the church.
Yeah.
That's like our first introduction to being around different bands. Black community till we don't have the, what I'm saying, the rock aspect. So me being around instruments was church, what I'm saying. So
Yes.
that was the introduction. So I was around a lot of greats as far as the gospel lane, like the Fred Hammonds, the J Moss, the Karen Clark Sheards, like people that still hold weight to this day. Like I was fortunate to be around them. So my music background is a lot of that as far as knowing what I want and know how I want to sound and
Yes.
knowing that this is something that can be done.
Absolutely. So did you originally start out doing gospel music or has it always
Mhm.
been on the secular side?
So I've always wanted to marry the two in a
Yeah.
way. I started
Contemporary
gospel.
gospel kind of.
Yeah, so I started over there, but I also knew that I can make good R&B. Like I don't have to be too far out on the secular side, but it just feels good. Like the R&B feels good. It's like it wasn't so much of like making the sexual song as far as the
Yeah.
R&B was known for. It's just the songwriting, the storytelling. I feel like was missing, and I like you said, we were just talking about the '90s and 2000 R&B. That's the best genre of music to me. Like they had
I
stories and had feelings. Like you can relate to those type of things.
100%, man. Like if I could put myself in a time machine and go back to like that era, I would absolutely do it because like I'm about to tell my age, you guys. I'm an OG. Don't tell nobody. I graduated in 92.
Okay.
So, being 18 in the year 1992 and of course throughout the 90s, early 2000s, that's when music is very impressionable for
Yeah.
people. You're coming out of high school, potentially going to college, going to work, hitting the clubs and stuff like that. I was always into that R&B music a lot. Of course I
Mhm.
like rap and hip hop and stuff, but
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
that's where a lot of it came from that. So, when you first got involved in music, was it something that was a personal choice, or was it something that maybe was introduced to you and said, "Hey, this is something that I think you would be good at"? How did it start?
Personal choice. Like I said, I was always around it, but it was always funny 'cause I was always shy as well. So I
Yeah.
had to make my decision like, well, this is what I want to do. As far as me being heard and me being able to express myself musically, this is something that I wanted to do. But I didn't really make that decision until for real to like probably like 2017. So I'm 10 plus years already being around music, but I'm not sure what I actually want to do with it.
Yes.
So that was when I made the decision. Like I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think was like that turning point for you, being that you had been around it for a long time, but then you decided you personally wanted to do music? What do you think was that turning point for you?
Um, the industry. Me feeling like I don't hear the storytelling anymore.
Yeah.
Me feeling like I don't have. At that time, 16, 17. off the top of my head, I can't really give you an R&B artist at that time that was popping. We had, Chris Brown and things like that, but he
Yeah.
was more pop. But it's like there
Yes.
wasn't anyone like today we have the Scissors, the Hers, the Giveons, the Brent Fayez, like that wasn't there then. You know what I'm saying? So I was
Yes.
like, I want to be able to fill the gap. And at the
Yeah.
time, Bryson was coming in, Bryson Tiller.
Yes.
So that's the actual turning point. Bryson Tiller, when he dropped Don't, I was like,
Gosh, I love that record.
dog, this is my sound. Like this is my sound. This is what I've been doing or trying to find beats like this. This is my sound. So I'm like, this is my time to run because now it's
Yeah.
out here now, and I don't want to get too far behind.
Absolutely, most definitely. Like it's, with anything, I heard 2 Chainz say this in one of his interviews, and I quote it all the time because it's so simple. It's like get on board or get left behind, and that's what it
Right?
is. Like we have to get on board with the times, or we'll get run over and left in the dust. Basically, because
Indeed.
people are really out here on their entrepreneurship. People are on their hustle. People are on their grind. We are absolutely in an era where I think people are younger and younger starting businesses or getting
Yes.
involved in music and things like that. So that's dope. But you're absolutely in it at the right time. When you first started releasing music, were you already writing like maybe poetry or anything like that before you started
Mhm.
writing music?
Yes. Actually, poetry is how I started.
Okay.
I started writing poetry in middle school. Like
Mm,
seventh grade, I started writing poetry, and that was like um my way of expression. In the eighth grade, I had a creative writing class, and we had
yes.
to write different poems, and we couldn't put our names on it. So I remember a couple of poems I had wrote. The class, my classmates, a few of the girls were crying. The guys were like, "Who is this?" I'm looking like, and I was like, "Okay, I might have something," but it's
Yeah.
funny because I didn't at that time. I didn't want to be an artist. I wanted to just write for
Yeah.
people.
Understood.
I was like, "I'll write for y'all. I can do that."
Yeah, absolutely. So taking it back to 7th grade when you were writing, what were you writing about?
I've always wrote about emotions. I've always
Mm,
felt like I've been in tune and in touch with my emotions. Growing up with my mom, with my aunties, being able to being around a lot of female influences, it was like I had to move a certain way to even interact with them. I
yes.
couldn't, what I'm saying, certain things I couldn't say, or some things I would need to say more for, what I'm saying, to get the attention that I wanted, what I'm saying. So I feel like I was able to be in tune with emotions, and that helped me out, people being able to relate to
Yeah.
me.
Absolutely. So is writing for you like a form of therapy?
Oh yes,
Talk
definitely,
to us about it.
definitely.
How does it help you?
It gives me an outlet. Either my pen and paper or my phone doesn't judge me. I can
Yes,
say and
it's a
do whatever in these
safe
spaces.
place.
It's a safe place.
Yeah, that is dope. So pretty much whatever's on your heart, whatever's on your mind goes on that piece of paper and
Oh yeah.
then potentially comes through into your music. So let
Hmm.
me ask you this. Any of the poems that you wrote, maybe not verbatim, but maybe some of the ideas or the wordplay that was in your poem, have you ever turned that into an actual song?
Yes, I actually wrote a poem. It was describing this young lady, and my first project I released in 20 November 2021, and the intro song is called All of You,
Mm.
and that first verse is actually the poem.
That is really dope. I love the fact that you transitioned it into your actual music because poetry is very heartfelt. Like it's,
Hmm.
like of course you have spoken word or you just have,
Right.
poetry where people write poems and stuff, but it's like it's pure emotion.
Hmm.
And oftentimes it's written about another person. Like you said, there was a young lady that you wrote it about. So I can only imagine that it was very intimate for you.
Hmm.
That is really dope. I love it. Absolutely. With that being said, I know that you started out, like you said, you were in the church, you were diving in on the gospel side, how does your family, your peers, your loved ones, how do they feel about the music that you're releasing now?
They love it. And that was another thing. I was like, how they gonna feel? Like, because I was still heavily involved in the church, and I started doing stuff like praise and worship leader, like for like the youth and things like that. So it's like,
Nice.
how they gonna receive this? But I probably until recently, like this recent project, I don't really cuss in my songs too much.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm still cool. Like
Yeah.
I'm still good. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was um I didn't feel like I strayed too far away for me to still be who I was. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Absolutely. And I heard you say earlier that, you keep it, there's not like heavy sexual references and stuff like that. So it's like, we know when you produce music like that, it tends to make it more marketable, not to say you can't make songs every now and again that get a little sexy or maybe has
yeah.
some profanity, but for the most part, it sounds like you're making music that's very marketable, like out the gate. Soon as you release it, it's marketable, ready to go.
Yeah, that was one of my main things because early on I feel like I didn't have a lot of access to different engineers or producers or things like that. So me having this one song and I have access to this person who can do this, now I gotta find someone else to mix it this way and you know what I'm saying, take out certain words that I said so it can be a clean version and things like that. I was like, I don't have all the access around me, so let me just use what I have now. And if I'm not doing all those things, I don't need that right now. So
Yeah.
it didn't prolong the process.
Absolutely, and if you go ahead and just record a clean version, then you don't have to, like, go back and have it cleaned up. It's already, like,
It's
clean and
already
ready to
ready.
go.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely, and, it makes it a little bit more marketable because, I tell artists all the time, you don't wanna have to get ready, you wanna be ready, and
Indeed.
a lot of these rappers, no shade, I love all y'all, but I'll ask them for a clean version of their record and they don't have one. And I'm like, when you get that song mixed and mastered, if it's not being recorded as a clean song, go ahead and have your engineer knock out the clean version right then and there.
Yeah.
That way you got it ready to go. Cause you don't want to miss no opportunities. You might get booked for a festival where you got to perform in front of like a family friendly audience. You want to
Right.
have that record ready to go.
Yeah.
What was the first full body of work that you released, like an album or EP?
My first album was called Point of View. I dropped
Okay.
that November 18th of 21.
That was the one you released in 21. Let's talk
Mhm.
about it. I haven't had the opportunity to check it out, but I definitely want to go and check it out and kind of bring myself up to speed a little bit. How many songs are on the album?
I want to say that one has 12,
Okay. Okay.
if I'm
So
not
probably in
mistaken.
the 30 something minute range. So
Hmm.
nice little body of work, to introduce, who you are, because you probably were dropping singles up until that point.
Hmm.
Um, what did that album mean to you, being that it was your first one?
It was like my baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is I it was supposed to come out a couple times. I was like, no, it's not. It's not quite ready yet. So I enjoyed that process. Like I said, I was heavily involved from the writing, from the picking of the beats and things like that. Like I am super hands on with my music, and if anyone else touches my music, I have a right hand. My man, that's K, Scholar. He does music as well. He raps, and I feel like having a rapper's um, insight on an R&B song, I love it because you rap and you rap a certain way, and there's certain things that you can't say in your songs, but you feel. So
Yes.
I'm the R&B guy that you can say what you want through me.
Yes.
So I allow him to touch any song that I do. That's my guy. So it was very hands on. Then my engineer, Smurf, was just it was very intuitive. Like it wasn't like some engineers you go to great big studio, nice, and they just push the button like, okay, record. Okay, that was cool. But it wasn't that. It was like, nah, man, I need this type of feeling here. If you're singing about this, I need you to go here. So
Yes.
I love the process.
Absolutely, and like you said, and it's no shade to the big studios because some of them really have superstar engineers, but oftentimes it's more for just the aesthetics. It's more for
Hmm.
the look. Like, oh, I'm in this big, beautiful studio, but it doesn't mean that they're going to produce the best quality. Like you could go to a little small studio or even a home studio, and if that engineer knows what they're doing and they got the right equipment, you're going to get your best sound based upon the engineer you're working with, not the aesthetics of the beautiful studio that you're in. What are you working on right now? Oh, he's frozen, you guys. He's frozen. Let's try to take him off and bring him back on. We lost him, so we're gonna take a brief intermission. Don't go nowhere. It's your girl TampaMystic. We're currently live streaming on multiple platforms. Um, yeah. Maybe he'll go back out and come back in. Once again, we got Ruante checking in from Detroit. He probably got a phone call, I'm guessing, on his phone. Oftentimes that happens during these virtual interviews, and it causes their screen to freeze up. So I'm gonna entertain you guys for just a brief moment. Yeah, he probably will be right back in. So yeah, you can follow me on all digital platforms at Tampa Mystic. Of course, it is the industry's most wanted podcast. Let y'all hear it. Boom. Boom.
Most wanted.
Don't go nowhere because he's going to come right back. He's going to come right back in. He probably had a phone call that came in and interrupted his live stream. So, yeah, we do this. Got a podcast studio out here in the Atlanta market. So if you guys want to tap in, you can come in person, or we do the virtual interviews. Right now, we're interviewing Detroit R&B artist Ruante. Again, he should be coming back in just a moment because we have a video of his that we're going to premiere and show you guys. So we're just going to stay tuned for just a moment, and hopefully he can get back connected here with us. In the meantime, make sure you follow me at TampaMystic on all social platforms, and my podcast, Industry's Most Wanted. You can see it right here in the background, Industry's Most Wanted. So yeah, we're gonna hopefully get him back in here with us in just a moment. Little brief intermission. There we go. We got him back. Boom. I was keeping him entertained. Did you get a phone call?
No, I don't know what happened.
Oh, okay. I thought you maybe sometimes they'll get a phone call and it'll knock them off. But you know what? It's sometimes that Wi-Fi. But anyways, I kept him entertained while you was gone.
Boom. So I got the phone here. I'm like, I didn't get the call. I don't know what happened.
It's all good. It's all good. You know, hey, it happened. Listen, technology is imperfect. You know what I'm saying? It happens sometimes. So we got Ruante checking back in again. You know, Detroit artist out here working, hustling, grinding. So you put that album out in 2021. It was your very first project that you put out. Now, fast forwarding, have you put another body of work, or are you working on putting one together, a follow up?
Latest project I just dropped August 18th. It's called Ladies Love Tay. That's my latest project, and that's going to be a 4-part series. So just starting that one. So I'm happy about that one.
That sounds very R&B-ish. I love it. Ladies Love Tay. Okay, now that is really, really dope. So let me ask you this: from the first album you released in 2021 to this one that you just released in August, Ladies Love Tay, what did you do differently going into the second album?
I feel like the second album, I'm in a better space. I was more comfortable and I have a direction. The first one, I feel like I put together songs that sounded good together. I was recording and then, okay, I'll use that song. But this one was intentional. I'm recording for this. I'm recording this song for this space on the project. So it was more intentional.
Absolutely. I love that. I that's great answer, because I ask that a lot when people put albums. I'll ask them, did you specifically record the music for this album, or did you pick and choose? So it sounds like the first one you picked and chose some that you already had. This one, like you said, was more intentional. You recorded and probably picked the beat specifically just for the sound. So I heard you say you're going to turn it into a series?
Yes.
Were you going to record like multiple ones?
It's a 4-part series, so I'm doing 7 songs on each series. So it's Ladies Love Tay, then Ladies Love Tay 2, then Ladies Still Love Tay, and then For the Love of Ruante.
Now that is really dope. How did you come up with the idea to do that?
Ladies Love Tay actually came about by my right hand SK. Gave me the idea of Ladies Love Tay, and I was like, oh, we got to run with that. We got to run with that and turn that into a story.
I know that's right. Absolutely. So for people who haven't had the opportunity to hear it yet and they tune in for the first time, what can they expect?
They can expect storytelling, relatable music, and good feelings. I got club songs. I got a slower song. I got a I Want You Back song. It brings you. It's like a complete feeling. You know, you go through all the emotions on this one.
I love it. I love it. And that's really what makes it it takes an album from being a good album to like being that dynamic album because like you said it captures every emotion and no matter who you are, man, woman, young, old, we all have emotion, we all have
Hmm.
feelings. Of course us ladies show it more than the fellas do, you know
Indeed.
what I'm saying? That's why I think a lot of women are so in tune with R&B music because we're
Hmm.
emotional creatures, like
Indeed.
that's just our nature. Would you say that the music that you write, as you're writing it, you do it with women in mind, or do you do it with just a broad audience in mind?
I do it with, I would say, more so women
Yeah,
because y'all are the driving force for
yeah.
a lot of things. A lot of things a man does is for the attention of a woman. Um, to get a woman
Facts.
back, there's something involved with the woman. You're not waking up like a woman can put some clothes on to make herself feel good. A
Yeah.
man is about to make put some clothes on so you can see me. It's a different
Mm.
type of thing. Like you guys do things differently than we do, but a lot
Yeah,
of things that we do, the good and bad, the trouble that we will get into, mostly for a woman. You know what I'm saying? There's things that we do, and I feel like you guys are the driving force. And then as far as the consumers, you guys will spend more than guys.
100%.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
The support from a woman, I get you to support me. You're gonna tell your male friends about me, and then now I
Yep.
got more of them. A guy supports me. It's a little more to get your female friends to rock with you, but if the girl already rocks with it, it's on.
Absolutely. And the fellas are gonna go throw that R&B music on when they're trying to get their girl into the mood, you know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? Like you
Exactly.
said, a lot of stuff that men do is triggered by the fact of because of a woman. Understood. Absolutely.
Hmm.
That is really dope. What is the music scene like? I know in Detroit, we talked about this before we went live, and there's so much dope talent coming out of Detroit, and there always has been. For people who've never been to your city, what is the music scene like for independent artists that are on the rise?
The music scene is popping right now. We were known for a lot of the rap, the Vezos, the T Grizzlies, things like that,
Yeah,
who've been popping, and then we're still continuing to have more rappers that are going crazy right now. Babyface, Skilla, you know what I'm saying, Baby Money, things like that. But the
yeah,
R&B side, is getting more recognition. I feel like when I first started doing like shows and showcases back in 2018, if there was 20 artists there, I was the only singer. And now I can go out and there's so many more singers. I'm like, oh, this is dope. Like
yeah.
this is dope that the feeling is coming back. But I also hear it on the radio and things like that too. So I'm seeing the transition from the hardcore rap and the drill music and the op
Yes,
music to we need love. Like Diddy been preaching it for a while. I'm gonna like, I'm happy somebody in the game see this, but
right.
we need the love back. So I feel like it's slowly coming back because no, we can't. I'm not about to play the op music all the time. Like it's a time and place for everything. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
feel like now it's more we want to feel good.
Absolutely, because there's so much ugliness in the world that it's like it's our job, people like us who have a platform and a voice to spread that love and spread
Hmm.
that positivity. Like I've been on a very heavy positivity journey as of lately. Not that I've ever been a negative person, but we can get caught up in the
Indeed,
ugliness of the world sometimes.
for sure.
So it's like it's our duty to spread that love, like you said. And it's
Hmm.
ironic when I moved to Atlanta 10 years ago, one of the first things that I started doing was artist showcases. And I quickly realized that 99% of the artists that would come out and perform would be hip hop artists, rappers. And I was like, and I think it's because like you said, they didn't want to be only that one R&B artist. So I took it upon myself that once a month I was doing an all R&B artist showcase. And I
Nice.
did it for probably gosh, 2 years maybe, and it was man, we used to have such great turnouts and it was just like a grown and sexy kind of vibe because
Hmm.
people came in the building already knowing that this is what the aesthetics is going to be. This is what the vibe's going to be. It's going to be an
Yeah,
all R&B night. You know what I'm saying? So I think that people need to do more of that. But like you said, now you're starting to see more and more R&B artists come out because they need that platform and that shine as well.
they do. They do. And I feel
Absolutely.
like this is a great time for R&B artists, new and old. You haven't dropped anything in a while to come back. You haven't dropped anything, period, to start, because it's a light on R&B because people want to feel good. And if you got that music, I'm saying drop it like yesterday.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's dive into that a little bit more because you've been doing music for a while. Like even before you started like professionally recording, you were still involved in
Hmm.
the music realm. For any R&B artists, we'll talk R&B artists specifically that are out there, like you said, and they're, maybe not quite sure where they need to kick off. What piece of advice would you offer them?
I would say follow your heart. Don't try to make music for the masses.
Mm,
Make music for you and allow it to appeal to the masses.
yes.
You don't want to be anyone else but yourself. So I say, do you, and the people will gravitate to it. But the moment you start trying to be someone else that you're not, let's say that gimmick catches on,
Yeah.
and you do become this superstar. Now inside, you're not whole. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You're not happy. So we're not going to get the music that we even want from you because you're not even in that good space. So just be you from the jump.
Man, that is such a great piece of advice. Absolutely, because like you said, when they try to mimic other sounds, it almost becomes like a facade. And it's like,
Hmm.
who wants to keep up with that forever? It's
Big.
like they're this fake person per se. So being yourself is going to build your most core organic fan base. And you don't have to put on a front. You're just being yourself and you're doing
Big.
it because you genuinely love it.
Yes, ma'am.
What does Ronte like love and enjoy the most about being a music artist?
The expression. It's fun for me. I
Yeah.
have a good time doing it. It's not a job. It's not looking at like, oh, I gotta go to the studio today. Like, I'm happy. Like, this is my outlet. This is my therapy. So I'm always loving it. I'm always ready for it. So this is it's fun, and I want to keep that fun. Like, um Drake said, the moment I start having fun with it, I'm done with it. I really
Yes.
feel that way. Like, if I'm not having fun with it, it becomes a job. I don't want to do it no more.
Man, absolutely. So to dive even deeper, and this is something I love asking. So music is absolutely a passion for you. It's fun for you. You love the process. You fell in love with the journey of it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
With that being said, through music, what is Ronte's purpose?
To bring back, to help bring back the storytelling.
Yeah.
I don't want to just have a song that it rhymes. I want to be able to tell stories because that's what I connected to in the late '90s R&B, the Drew Hills, the Jodeci's, and things like that. They weren't just singing; like
Yes.
they were telling stories. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And it was all relatable. And I always felt like I wanted to be relatable, and I feel like I have a story to tell.
Right.
So why not? But that's my thing is another Drake line. I want to. He said um I told my story and made his story.
Exactly. Absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to listen to his new album that just dropped yesterday by chance?
I did. I did.
I personally loved it because to me, it kind of took me back to the Drake that I fell in love with. There's a lot of like kind of singing and harmonizing on there. Um, oh, I got alarms going. Listen, if I don't set alarms, boy, I don't be remembering everything.
Hmm.
I did. So, give me your honest opinion. Did you like it?
I like the project. I was expecting comeback season type. I was expecting all rap. I didn't know where he was gonna go with it for real.
Yes.
Um, but I know there's certain moods. Like I will be in a certain mood. Like the second half of the project, I feel like I will be in the car driving, kind of mellow mood because it's a different type of vibe than the first
Yeah.
part. But I feel like he put it all together, and it's called For the Dogs. Like it's for the people who's been around. Like my sound. If you came in like rapping Drake, like if you're reading this too late, if that was like your first introduction to Drake, this project is not for you because
Right.
he's singing and stuff on this, and you're not gonna vibe with that. So it's it's definitely for the people who want to hear it.
Absolutely, because I had a conversation with, he might be tuned in, but we kinda like he was saying he didn't really like it because of all the singing. And I said, well, one thing that I realized about life is we can't please everybody. Some people are going
Mhm.
to love that. Some people are not because they want the more barsy rap type,
Yeah.
stuff. And that's cool. But as an artist, and this is just my opinion, you have to make music for everybody. You can't just do, if you want to get to a Drake level, you
Right.
have to do a little bit of something for everybody. And it absolutely sounds like that's what you're doing. And sounds like you're a Drake fan because you referenced a couple of his lines from his
That's my
music.
guy.
And yeah, I listen, me too. So ironic as I went to the gym yesterday, and that's when I took the time because I can work out to R&B music. You know what I'm saying? Because it
Hmm.
makes me feel like I'm in there getting sexy. You know what I'm saying? So I
Hmm.
listened to the entire album, which I think is about an hour and 23 minutes. That was my chance to listen to it from front to back because I did it while I was working out, and
Right.
great project. Absolutely. So with that being said, do you currently, or would you be open to writing for other artists?
I would. In the beginning, I would say no. 'Cause I said, like I said, I wanted to be a writer at first. Before I was even an artist, I wanted to just be a writer.
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, y'all might not even do the song how I want it to be done. So let me just do it myself.
Yeah.
But now, yes, I would write for others. Just because it's fun now. And I'm not thinking of self right now.
Yeah.
Oh, this has to be my song. Like beginning stages, you're starting something new. I don't want to give myself away. Like, no, this could be my song. It could be my hit. But I was like, I would give a song away.
Exactly right. You might write and be like, "Bro, I don't want to get that away. That song's too dope. I
Hmm.
gotta do that one myself." Absolutely. So to dive into that even deeper, would you be open to writing other genres of music?
I would. I
Yeah.
would. I listen to a lot of genres. I think I'm pretty eclectic in my music search and history. So I would be open to writing different genres and testing that and seeing like different expressions that I can do in other genres.
What would be like the first alternate genre that you would dive into outside of R&B?
Outside of R&B, I actually probably wouldn't mind doing a country song.
I was just thinking, I was like, country, because country be having like a lot of the loves type stuff.
Nah,
So
they be having some stuff on the lows. I was like, hold on, man. I didn't even know this was laying like this.
also, would you be open? Okay, diving even more. Would Ronte be open to actually recording a country song?
I would. And
My
I feel like
name
I feel
is
like I feel like
Ronte.
I would like my I would have to like be solidified as an artist first.
Yeah,
'Cause
understood.
that's not like my lane I want to be in. So I wouldn't want to drop it right now. Then that catches and I gotta drop all country songs. Like, man, I ain't even trying to do that for real, but it works. So I guess I have to. So but I would be open to it, like you know what I'm saying, as I progress and you already knew a certain sound from me and knew this was something different I was just doing.
I love it. I love the fact that you're so open and diverse with what how you look at the music and, your personal music, because again, I think that's so important. Not to say that you got to always make alternate genres, but to dive in and be open to doing that. Cause, look at, there's so many artists that's done that. One of my faves,
Hmm.
of course, is Nelly. He dove into on
Right.
kind of the countryside, Flow Rider on the pop side, Run
Hmm.
DMC way back in the day did some rock music. So, absolutely. That's to me what takes a music artist from being a good artist to just being above and beyond type artist, because you're open to exploring and testing out new things.
Indeed. Indeed. I think it's dope.
Absolutely. So right now, I know you got a visual that we're going to check out in here in just a couple minutes, but what are some of the things that you're personally working on? And it doesn't even have to be music. Do you have other business ventures that you're working on? Do you have your own merch? Like, talk to us about other stuff outside of music that you're working on.
So working on the merch, I have a line that was it's called Man Up. It was a mentoring group that I have, things like that. So I was making an apparel line for young men who were not as fortunate, because if you're going out and doing events and things like that, you don't really have any clothes. And I think I'm pretty saucy. I wanted to have you guys have something as well. Like, so I was
Yeah.
building that brand Man Up. So that was that part, like outside of music. And I'm also building my actual music merch as well. Like I have my Rose R is my logo. Um, so I'm building off of that. Going to come out with another one like first, like I have logos coming with the bunny rabbit, holding some flowers and things like that. So
Oh.
I'm shooting around Easter for that, ironically. But being in fashion, you have to be seasons ahead to even start it. So
Right.
I think I'm gonna start at the spring. And I mean I'll have the merch out there to drop in.
That's gonna be dope. So is fashion something that, also has become a passion for you as of late, or is that something always been a passion for you?
I feel like fashion has always been around, and then the city that I live in, Detroit, is pretty fashionable. Like
Yeah.
you can't just wear certain stuff here. You gotta have it on. So it was like, by me growing up with that, it's always been a part of me to put some clothes on.
Love it, love it, love it. Throughout your journey in music, what would you say has been like the biggest like lesson that you've learned, whether it be something that an OG shared with you or like maybe even a personal experience?
Can't do it by yourself.
That's a big one. Gotta have a team.
Gotta have a team. And I was in the beginning, I was halfway against the team because looking into the industry or just looking around, it seems like a lot of the deals that they had with the teams, it wasn't any control for the artists. And I
Yes.
always wanted creative control in anything that I did because I wanted it to be me. I never wanted to be a robot or industry plan or whatever case you want to call it. I wanted to be myself. So
Yes.
that was a big thing. But then I also realized that I can't do everything. So I'm gonna need this team. So actually I have a great team right now that it's been just recently put together. Um a manager Kelly, I have marketing, my guy Jay, promotions, Fal and Nia. Like it's like even how this came about is from the team.
Shout out to
Things
Nia.
like
That's who I was conversing with.
indeed. So it's like I let them know what I want to do. Like, hey, I've seen this. We should probably move on this. And it's like I was able to step back and just be the artist. Like I can just worry about the music in the studio, and you guys handle this. So it's not I don't have to wear as many hats. So that way my
Right.
creative control is my creative freedom is not hindered.
Absolutely, but it was also good in the beginning that you probably didn't because it forced you to learn the ins and outs of the
Hmm.
business so that therefore going forward you're not going to get taken advantage of because
Indeed.
you'll understand, you'll know the red flags and you'll know what to stay away from and maybe certain things you shouldn't do. But let
Correct.
me ask you this. I've been in the music industry like I said going on about 13 years and I have my business partner, Bigger Rankin, and I've developed a team. But one of the biggest struggles that I've encountered, and maybe you will as well, and I'm going to ask you about this, is I always want to be around like-minded people, people who have
Hmm.
ambition because, I'm a multiple business owner. Like, I have big, big visions, big dreams. So I always wanted to build a team with other people like that. But the issue that I ran into is they're busy too, so they can't always be around. They're doing their
Hmm.
own thing. So do you feel like building a team you should be building with people who are maybe not quite there yet where you're at, but they're wanting to get there? Like, do you feel like that's the type of people, or give us your input on that?
Now that's pretty loaded because I would rather because I always like when it comes to like I guess the music and the aspect of that, I don't I don't want to teach you anything. I don't, what I'm saying? I feel like that's gonna take away from why am I showing you this and you on my
Yeah.
team? I feel like I like to be around people that are smarter than me, or know more than me. I like to learn.
Yes.
So if I feel like if I'm bringing you on my team and I'm teaching you something, you can still be on the team, but your level or your interactions won't be like you're leading them. It's also like I will guide you on this aspect, but like my manager, promotions, I anything, my marketing, I shouldn't have to teach y'all anything. If that's the case, why are you here? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right.
there's
They could be interning.
indeed. So like if you want to do like I got to show you things like that, we can definitely do like the interning thing because I believe that success is not about what I can amass financially or even like material things. I believe true success is me getting all the information and me being able to give it to you so that you can be successful in what you're doing. If I can help
Yes.
you out, I'm successful.
Right.
You know what I'm
Help
saying? I
me
don't
help
care
you.
about the other stuff. Like the money and all that stuff will be there. That's not defining my success. If I can't bring you up from where you are and you're in my same field and I have the access, I'm not successful for real. So I would
Man.
definitely bring somebody on the team who doesn't know anything. Just know that you're not about to control nothing because you don't know nothing.
Exactly. So what I've gathered is that you have to have not a ton of people, but multiple people on your team, because when you are working with people who are like-minded and have their own thing going on, when this person may be busy doing something, okay, now I got to go over to this person to step in or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, I just wanted to get someone else's thought on that, because that
Hmm.
was always the biggest thing that I encountered is I
Yeah,
would only try to have one or two people on my team, but they busy doing their own stuff. So then it goes back to where, okay, I'm doing this by myself again. So, but it also, like I said, it forces you and teaches it, you learn the business and how to be self-sufficient, which is also important,
exactly.
you know? So you have to do other things, you know, besides just that, but you having a good team is important.
Hmm.
But we're going to check out this visual. I got it pulled up here. It's called Damage Done.
Hmm.
Talk to us about this record. What does it mean to you?
A lot. I love this record. This record is about like the title's Damage Done, and it's about a relationship that's ending. You're trying to like see, can we go back to what it was? But the foundation's already cracked. The
Yeah.
damage is already done. So we gotta just go ahead and make amends and just keep it going because this is not we're not gonna get back to what we was. The damage is already done.
Yeah, I'm a believer in that. Yeah. I think this is the type of song that so many people will relate to, because just coming from a female perspective, and it could be the same for a man, but when you're coming out of a relationship, women are so nurturing that they'll oftentimes, when you love someone, you'll do whatever you can to try to mend it and fix it and take it back. But most of the time it doesn't work, because once the damage is there, the damage is done. You know what I'm saying? And
100%.
you're always going to have certain things in the back of your mind that cause
Yeah,
that damage, and it's going to haunt you. So, man, what a great relatable song. We're going to check
indeed.
out the visual. Before we get into it, a couple things that we need to do. One, where can everybody follow you at on your social platforms?
I'm pretty big on Instagram. That's my biggest my main thing. It is IAM underscore Ruante RUANTE, and that's like the best way to contact interact with me. I post all the time. Those are my videos. Low stories. I think I'm pretty funny, so I got a little stuff on there too. But it's all about the content. That's all on my Instagram for real.
Absolutely, most definitely. I know you have a lot of people that are supporting you. You got a great team around you.
Do.
Who do you want to shout out to?
Man, shout out Kelly. Shout out Jay. Shout out Nia. Shout out Fal. SK. You know, I wouldn't be doing any of this for real. If it wasn't for SK. The push. And all that. Smurf, my engineer. Jupiter. That's my producer. Kills. Kills actually. I record Damage Done with my man's Kills. So shout out to them, man. It's a collective. The team has really came together. OTB only the best, but I see y'all. It's family. So it's a good it's a good team. It's a good thing going, and I believe this is our time.
Absolutely. And I wanted to shout out to Nia, because that's who I've been conversing with, you know, throughout this whole process. And she was very responsive, very professional. So
Hmm.
shout out to Nia. You know, I hope I have an opportunity to actually
Oh
meet
yeah,
her one day, and yourself as well. When you guys come out
yes,
here today,
yes,
you got to skirt, pull up.
most definitely.
Last but not least, we are live right here. Industry's
Industries
Most Wanted. You see it?
most
Boom. We
wanted.
got Ruante checking in all the way from Detroit, man. Like, and
Yes,
we're about to
yes.
get into his video. But my most important question of the whole conversation is, what makes you the industry's most wanted?
Because no one is doing it like me. I just
Mm,
feel like I'm like the diamond in the rough, the rolls in the concrete. Like that's me. Like I'm around so much. Like it's so hard, but there's still beauty that comes through. You know what I'm saying? Like no matter what's going on around me, beauty will be shown through the music. So I
I
believe
love
it is.
it. I love it. That was such a great answer. Super dope. Well, listen, thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to build with you and get to
Yes,
know
yes,
you more. Check out your projects. I'm gonna definitely do that because like I said, I'm a sucker for some good R&B. So I'm
yes,
gonna
yes.
definitely check out your music. But we're about to go ahead and get into this visual. Go
Let's
ahead
do
and
it.
introduce it for us.
All right, this is Ruante, Damage Done, shot by the GOAT Super Ray.
Let's go.
Kills you recording. Top down, driving in the rain. How I get through the pain. Wanna go back, damn it's done. Won't ever be the same. Made your own rules, you played your own game. Wanna go back, damn it's done. Won't ever be the same. Top down, driving in the rain. How I get through the pain. Wanna go back, damn it's done. Won't ever be the same. Made your own rules, you played your own game. Wanna go back, damn it's done. This love shit gets tricky. Leave my heart in pieces. Pick 'em up, but I'm always run short. Next one do me wrong, I'ma take 'em to court. I'ma need compensation, we can't make this shit work, oh no. You had my time and I was wasted. Left me on red, it's time to face it. The fact that we never should've tried. Standing what you said, little baby, I'll be fine. I'ma clear my mind tonight. Tryna catch a vibe tonight. I'ma do what I like. Pour up and catch a flight. Let the rain fall on me tonight. I'ma clear my mind tonight. Tryna catch a vibe tonight. I'ma do what I like. Pour up and catch a flight. Let the rain fall on me tonight. Top down, driving in the rain. How I get through the pain. Wanna go back, damn it's done. Won't ever be the same. Made your own rules, you played your own game. Wanna go back, damn it's done. Won't ever be the same. Top down, driving in the rain. How I get through the pain. Wanna go back, damn it's done. Won't ever be the same. Made your own rules, you played your own game. Wanna go back, damn it's done. Won't ever be the same. Love lost. Took a risk and I knew the cost. Heart outside, but inside you're soft. Now this love feeling like an afterthought. Tryna play victim, shorty, knock it off. Oh no, you had my time and I was wasted. Left me on red, it's time to face it.
I'm gonna pause it right there because I always like to encourage people to go to YouTube and watch the entire video because I
Yeah.
can run them streams up. We wanted to give them a snippet, but listen, that video is so dope. I'll tell you what really caught my attention in that video is shout out to your videographer. They did a
Oh yeah,
phenomenal.
Super Ray is crazy.
I got chills right now just like listening to that song and I'm serious. I wish you could see. I got goosebumps everywhere. What really caught my attention is when you were driving and you could see the rain coming down. Like it takes skill to capture that. You know what I'm saying? Like to be able to actually capture the actual droplets, or you could see the droplets of rain and then the water, like how the light was reflecting off of it. Bro, what a great
So so with
video.
that so with that video, it's funny, like two things. Like I started my second verse off with I'm not mad, it's no love lost. Took a risk, but I knew the cost. I got pulled over during the video. I got pulled over during the video. So in the actual video, when I'm saying that line, the police cruisers behind me, they turned their lights on. I kept recording. It's like I took a risk, but I knew the cost. And it was so perfect that happened at that right time.
So
But
ironic, isn't it?
oh my gosh. But the video, um, I'm a visual writer.
Yes,
So I see the video before I write the song. So that's
man.
how I write. So when I wrote the song, I knew exactly how I want to have the video. There was
Right.
no rain in the forecast for that day, so I had it set up. My uncle has a friend, Jay Black, has a mobile detailing business. So I was
Okay.
going to have a power washer, spray the water in the air. I was going to make the rain. But God had other plans, you know what I'm saying? God, you know what I'm saying, came down, you know what I'm saying, looked out for the boy, and it rained. So it was like the concept, everything that I had concept wise came through so perfect. It's like my favorite video. It's like my most hands-on video, and I was very excited for it.
It is so dope. Like, and I noticed that, like, the little key elements, stuff like that makes it very cinematic. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to God who put the perfect amount of rain down.
Man,
Like, you couldn't duplicate that. You could
could
never do
not.
it again. You know what I'm saying? And like, it was just so appealing to the eye. Like, I noticed little things like that when I watch music videos, and even with you, I don't wasn't you were you vaping? I don't know what you were smoking on. You know
It
what I'm
was
saying?
smoking. And then
Yeah.
the wine, I had a bottle of champagne. My marketing is handled my man's Jay, who as actually owns the champagne. So it's a black owned champagne called Motu VJ. So that's what I'm sipping on in the video, things like that. So yeah, it was great,
Yeah.
great promo.
Well, listen, bro, you are so talented. Like, I'm excited to get to know you more and build with you more because I can't say it enough. Like, R&B is my first love, so I definitely want to support what you got going on. When you come out here to Atlanta, you and your team, it would be my pleasure to have you guys come through the studio so we can meet in person.
Most definitely, I will definitely
Absolutely.
be there.
Absolutely. Anything else? Any last words that you want to leave the listeners with before we get out of here?
Um, I want to first off thank God that I'm even able to be in this position, to have the voice, to have the thoughts, to have the ideas. Thankful for the team that I have around me. Mom for birthing a legend. All the good stuff. I'm very thankful, and um, for the artists, for anyone out there, doesn't matter if you're doing artist stuff or just any entrepreneur, period. Do what you love to do. Don't sacrifice yourself and what you love to do for anyone. Just be you and everything will come as it should. Don't rush it. Just be patient with it and be consistent with it.
Thank you for sharing that because we need to hear that. Oftentimes we get away from stuff and we get frustrated because things aren't moving as quickly as we want them to, or people will turn down situations because maybe other people are doubting them. So
Mm-hmm.
that's great, great words of wisdom. So thank you for sharing that, most definitely.
No problem.
Absolutely. It was such a pleasure. I had so much fun. Definitely can't wait to meet you guys when you come out here to ATL. But
Yes, yes.
out of here, y'all. Industry's most wanted. You did.